Head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Hey guys, I wanted to talk about the real problem with the Cleveland Browns. It seems to me it's more on Andrew Berry. He's the one that put this team together. He's the one that traded away all of our draft picks. I just want to remind everybody of our previous general manager, John Dorsey. He's the one who actually traded up to 10 to get Patrick Mahomes. He drafted Kareem Hunt. He came here, drafted Baker Mayfield, Denzel Ward, Nick Chubb. Who has Andrew Berry drafted? Other than J.O.K., maybe M.J. Emerson. All he's done is kick the can down the road and move contracts further down so we could pay them when they're not on the team. It's not Deshaun, it's Andrew. Thanks, guys. Go Browns.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Jeff, in the interest of pointing some things out, he also hired Freddie Kitchens as a head coach and then refused to fire him, which is why he probably is no longer the GM. And he passed on Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson at number one. And again, okay. I just want to point out.
Well, if you want to do John, that's fine. Now I'll do Andrew. Andrew also chose a head coach that has taken this team. Chose a coach that took his team into the playoffs twice in 4 years. He also traded a 5th-round pick and got 2 years of 1,200-yard production from Amari Cooper. He also drafted Jerome Ford, who almost gave you 1,200 total yards last year. He also extended David Njoku, who went on later to have the best statistical production we have ever seen from him. So gave him top tight end money without seeing him be a top tight end. And then he did, in fact, turn into a top tight end. Now, and the other thing is, where has he necessarily drafted the last couple of years? He has not had a 1st-round pick. And, if you want to put the Deshaun Watson trade on Andrew Berry, you're foolish to do it. Nobody spends $235 million guaranteed of somebody else's money without them giving you an A-OK or telling you, if that's what you need to do to get me this player, I want this player, you give him the $235 million guaranteed. John Dorsey, and it was a nice run, but where did John Dorsey ever get this team? Did he even play in a playoff game? Any of those things? Look, you're way too far in the past. And you want to know what? If anybody brought up this conversation, 18 months ago, would Baker Mayfield be your starting point to, condemn Andrew Berry and prop up John Dorsey? Look, I am happy as heck for Baker. I truly am. And he certainly was, helped change, the way this franchise was viewed. But look, Andrew Berry has been extremely successful. If you want to base what he has done just on the draft, yeah, maybe he could be better. But he has traded well. He has, certainly free agent money, the guys that have come in here. And part of that is because the Browns are more successful now. So you weren't going to get free agents to even answer a phone call or a text from the Cleveland Browns about possibly coming here, on a free agent deal. It gets lost, I think, sometimes on those things. You want to manipulate, you want to speculate. And even the 3 players he brought up, that John Dorsey drafted, first things first, that draft class was absolutely freaking loaded. And, those players were drafted in the, top 35, 36. A draft class should be based on, what you're doing, day 2, day 3. And, up until this past draft, Andrew Berry draft classes for the Browns almost had every single player finish out their rookie contract with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, and you know what? If you want to criticize Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, the one criticism I'll listen to, and I think is fair, all right, you've made the playoffs. Now you got to do it consistently. The franchise went from laughingstock to competitive. Now you got to make the playoffs every year. And they're off to a horrible start this year.
There's no question about it. This team is 1-3. This team should, you should be 3-1. You're telling me you don't think you should have beaten the New York Giants? You're telling me you don't think you should have beaten the Las Vegas Raiders? Gardner Minshew, Daniel Jones, these are quarterbacks that you lost to. This team should be 3-1. And even the saddest part is any of these games, the Giants game and the Raiders game, all they needed to do was just wake up for their final offensive drive. That's all they needed to do. And you see this all the time in the NFL. There are some really good teams. Kansas City Chiefs Sunday, kind of sleepwalking through it for about 55 minutes. Then all of a sudden, it was go time. It was money time. Touchdown, 17-10. They win a game on the road. They probably shouldn't have won. And, the Browns right now just can't consistently do that. So they can't play for, a full 4 quarters, or even games where they kind of sleepwalk through the first 3.5. They can't wake up and go basically grab the bag, seize the opportunity when they need to. It's frustrating. There's no doubt about it. 4th and 3 inside the 10, and everybody, well, if Hopkins hadn't missed the extra point. No, in that situation, even if you were down 3, you're on the road, you go for the kill shot. You go get the win. You don't play for overtime. But, when things aren't going well, we can find everything. I mean, next we'll find out, that basically what they're serving for lunch at the facility, or, the media spread at the games, it's undercooked. That, when things aren't going well, everybody will point a finger at everything, and even notice things were going well. Everybody loved those white uniforms, but nobody talked about them on Sunday.
The one criticism I would have of Deshaun Watson, and you and I I've defended him, and I think he can still do things a little better. Last 2 games, he has had the ball in his hand, kind of like you're talking about, with the ability to win the game. Win the damn game. He didn't do it. That's the most disappointing thing to me with Watson so far.
And, I grew some criticism, and I'm not one to, bring up film or put it out on social media, but I did, the final play, and you could see the way the safety was lined up, that there was going to be coverage of 3 Raiders on 2 Browns on the left-hand side, which tells me the middle of the field is wide open all day long. Jerry Jeudy, was going to be wide open. I understand there was pressure. There was a stun. It wasn't blocked well. He had 1.85 seconds from the time he got that ball to when he could have released it to Jerry Jeudy. What I'm going to say is other quarterbacks in the NFL would have made that touchdown throw. And I am one of the stoush play of Deshaun Watson. I defend his play, and I have defended his play, and I even defended his play on Sunday, saying this is one of the best games he's had as a Cleveland Brown. But that still doesn't mean, or that I don't think he could have manipulated that play into probably a touchdown in that position. And then I got people, oh, well, he didn't even cut yet. His head wasn't turned around. And I mean, it's like, man, that's like high school stuff, bro. A quarterback, he better throw the ball before his wide receiver has made his break, or guess what? It is going to be an interception. But again, when things are not going well, we can shred it and pick it apart, and even pick the bones apart after we've gotten through the meat and the guts of it.